November 2012, started the gym with the intent on pulling all the inner city kids I could into the gym and make sure they graduate high school and they get leadership skills and life skills and become productive citizens.
He's sore most days, you know, he's a veteran, so I mean, he's had a lot of injuries, and but he keeps pushing through. Regardless of the pain, he just, you know, he'll compromise, like he'll sit down on the stool or something, you know, but he still gets up and does it and still fights through and pushes through.
Got injured, and it's hard for me. Sometimes it's really hard for me because I have to sit down a lot because I got bad arthritis. I've had back surgery. I've got pins and plates in my ankles.
No matter how tired he is or how sore he is or how many times he's fallen down, or he keeps getting back up and keeps doing it because he looks at, well, the kids need me here. You know, the kids need me to open the gym. The kids, they need an outlet too. So he's not selfish. He's selfless.
A lot of people don't know, you know, he spends his own money, you know, putting on events and, you know, for his gym. And kids, you know, getting out of school really look forward to that. I mean, that's very important right there. And that's his whole life.
When the Army VA decided to back pay me, I took the money and opened this gym and stocked it, the ring, the bags, everything. I thought if I put a program together that taught these kids good life skills, that I could save a lot of lives, turn a lot of kids around, and make sure they graduate high school and they get leadership skills and life skills. I have learned, you know, it takes a lot more patience than sometimes you're willing to give, but you know, you gotta look at the overall outcome. If I take that extra 30 minutes with this kid, is it gonna be worth it in the long run? Is that extra 30 minutes gonna be the one time that I say or do something that turns this kid around?
In the heyday, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, the Springfield Boys Club had Golden Gloves teams that went all over the place, and there were good boxers. B.J. Flores competed in some of them. Darrell, of course, was a champion.
Golden Gloves and professional boxing is very deep in this town. Back when they used to have Tuesday night, Friday night fights at the Shrine. Back in those days, Springfield Golden Gloves was so big, it was a 3-4 day tournament. And back in those days, you couldn't fight in the open division of the Kansas City Golden Gloves or the novice division unless you won Joplin, Carthage, or Springfield Golden Gloves. Man, there was no place on earth like the old Henderson unit, the boys club of the Henderson unit, right across the street from Pipkin Junior High School, which is where I went to junior high school as well. And that's where I won my first Golden Glove title that could leave out of Joplin, that could lead to the Kansas City Golden Gloves at the young age of 12 or 13, I believe I was back then. When I came back to this town, I thought it was a shame that all the kids that Golden Gloves program saved through boxing at the boys club, I thought it was a shame that it had died. And I just made it my mission to bring it back.
Darrell Smith against Elmer Wicks. Darrell in the green trunks without the headgear. What's Darrell's style of fighting?
He's very evasive. You'll see him, he'll switch from fighting left-handed, and then he'll take a right-handed stance. Right now he's in a left-handed stance.
Darrell, congratulations on your fight. What was your key to victory?
I just want to carry the fight. Three 3-minute rounds, that's all. I mainly want to carry the fight and outpoint the guy, outbox him, that's all.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was a lot of action, especially late in the fight. What was that reason for?
Well, he's sort of short, stocky guy, and he has a lot of power inside, so I want to keep him on the outside and keep my jab in his face and just work everything off the jab and just outpoint him.
What was probably your most effective punch?
I'd say my right hook.
Darrell, congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot.
When you were coming up, when you were a kid, there's got to have been a moment when you said to yourself, this is really what I want to pursue. I don't want to play football or baseball or anything like that.
I'd have to say that was 100% sure would have been my 8th grade year at Pipkin Junior High when McManus, it might have been my 7th grade, one of the two, and he came after practice and he said, haven't seen a kid with your drive before. And he said, you're sitting outside the door when I get here for boxing practice, and you're always the last one to leave. And he said, at first when I saw you, I thought this kid is the only black kid I've ever seen that has absolutely no rhythm, no coordination. I thought there was no chance of you ever becoming a boxer. And he really told me that. And I that made me want to stick with it. But then when I was the youngest one in the Nationals in '82, he told you or the newspaper one that I was quite possibly the best fighter he ever trained.
The days back in the Army when you went to the command.
Yeah, and I entered, he said, well, I need you to enter the battalion championships during All-American Week, which is the 82nd Airborne Division All-American Week. They have the battalion boxing championships.
They have everything.
They have everything. They do it they still do it to this year. I knocked everybody out at 156.
How many others were there?
4. And 3 days later, the All-Army boxing team was calling.
There you go. There you go.
And telling me, we want to try to get this kid on the team and we want to try to help him make it to the Olympic trials.
When you were on that All-Army team, who were some of the other fighters that?
Oh my God, Anthony Hembrick was on my team. Made it all the way to the Olympics, and Eddie Cook, who went on to win the Bantamweight Championship of the World. He won the IBF, who I'm still good friends with now, and who I talked into becoming a USA boxing official. Ray Merciless Mercer. Me and him had some good times together in All-Army camp out at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. He went on to win the gold medal in '88, and then beat Tommy Morrison for the WBO Heavyweight Championship of the world.
Very well.
Brutally knocked him out.
I met Smitty in 1985, and I went back to All-Army camp in 1988, which was Olympic year. I mean, when I met him in 1985, we had so much fun. I mean, we was in All-Army camp, and we all became brothers then. What kind of man this man really is, and he does a lot, like he's there for these kids, and that's why I come here.
I love kids, I love developing kids, that's my ultimate goal in life now. I'm going to ask you, we have 2 donation jars here, a neighbor out front, and we're going to bring one in here, and I'm going to ask you to put whatever you can in it, because we're taking 2 kids to the Olympic qualifier. Louis Vasquez, Central High School.
Doctor tells me now, only let my assistant coach go up the steps and work the corners. And I try to do that. I try so hard, because there's been a couple of times I've actually fell in here and scared the heck out of the kids.
Don't do that.
Ruptured my Achilles tendon one time because of this. But, saving these kids' lives, I feel like, who else do they have? When they told me I didn't need to be working, I fought it for 2 years, and everybody kept telling me how blessed I was, and I just said, man, I want to work. I said, what am I going to do? I got to do something. I just can't sit and watch the four walls, which I did for 2 or 3 years. And then I saw this place, and I said, it's a shame after all the kids' lives that Boxing saved at the old boys club, Henderson Unit on Boonville, that program's not up and thriving in Springfield. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. When methamphetamine and crack cocaine hit the scene, and it hit the scene hard, it hit it real hard. We went from a little bit of violence, a few little people who might think they were gangs that weren't, and stuff like that, to all of a sudden we went to people are stabbing people, people are robbing people that never robbed people before. People are shooting people. Kids are dying. People are overdosing by the thousands. Crime rates are going up 75%. We went to seeing things that we had never seen before right here in little bitty old Springfield.
I've known Coach Smitty for several years. He's really focused on the community and the kids. So Coach Smitty's gym basically takes kids anywhere in the city, but mainly focuses on the north side of town. And so the challenges in our community is kids not having something to focus on and work on. So we're not unique in dealing with kids with challenges of getting into trouble with law enforcement or making bad decisions and turning to drugs or alcohol. So Coach Smitty's gym gives kids an opportunity to focus on a sport and having a mentor to guide them. The bottom line is, if he didn't get those kids and turn them around, it'd be somebody that I would have to deal with later on in their life.
I met Smitty when I became a member of the Heart of the Ozarks Sertoma Club, probably 6 years ago, and started understanding who he was, what he was trying to do. He was a veteran, I'm a veteran, so we had that in common. And one of the first things we did together was actually a Veterans Day presentation to some kids at the Boys and Girls Club. The focus of our club, the Heart of the Ozarks Sertoma Club, is kids programs. The main benefactor of our funds is the Boys and Girls Club of Springfield.
We want kids to come to our clubs, experience things that help them learn and grow and become better individuals. So by the time they graduate, they have a plan for their future and they're going to be productive, responsible citizens. And Smitty is a huge part of that, not just with his gym, but also his active involvement in Heart of the Ozarks Sertoma. He works tirelessly for this organization as a volunteer, whether it's working at events to raise money for the club, whether it's coming into the Sertoma unit and talking to kids about his path, his history, encouraging kids through mentorship. That's what he does. He just embodies a selfless human being that really cares about the future of this city.
Those kids' parents not necessarily came from bad families. They might just have two hard-working parents that were working half the time and at home half the time. And it gave them an outlet to where they didn't get in trouble. And they learned something along the way.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Teach them they got just as much right to be successful and great as the next person. They got just as much right to stand up and talk aloud with a clear voice and not be shy or scared about it. Well, I expect a C+ average in school. Mandatory homework days, I expect you to bring homework in here. If you got a problem, I expect you to tell me 2-3 weeks out. Don't wait till the day before report cards come out and say, hey, Coach, I'm getting a D in math. No, it doesn't work that way, because I have volunteer tutors that I can contact and get them over here and get you some help. And, you know, you got to show me that you want to be a champion outside the ring as well as inside. And if you're going to be a champion at anything or good at anything, show me you're trying. These kids sometimes need that extra kick in the butt, and you got to give it to them. But you got, while you're doing it, you got to let them know you care. You got to let them know you're not trying to belittle them or embarrass them. But you got to let them know you're trying to make real men and women out of them.
It'll be an easy day for you until you get in here. But I want your undivided attention, okay? Rhythm and timing is the most important thing in boxing to me. You got good rhythm, you got good timing, you got good foot movement. Hell, I've seen boxers win a fight with their feet because they outmoved the other guy. 2-2! 2-2! You back on it! Back to the body! Dig! Dig! Hard! There you go! Dig hard! They're too damn wide! Shorten them up! Beautiful jab, Nick. Beautiful jab. It would be a whole lot more beautiful if you'd add the 2 to it. Tired of telling you that. I need you to let your punches go and punch through. And why on earth won't you throw a 2? I damn near gotta pull a tooth to get you to throw a 2. Let your hands go, son. This is boxing. Work time.
I like to tell my kids, if you're going to be a champion in my ring, you're going to have to be a champion outside of it as well. You're going to have to conduct yourself accordingly, do good things in the community. You can't just say I'm a boxer and leave it at that. You got to put the work in, inside the ring, outside the ring. When we go out of town, I have my secretary do research and find out what historical sites are there or what that city or that state is known for. And then we try to go visit something educational. We recently went to the Sugarburt Boxing Nationals in Montgomery, Alabama, and we went to the Civil Rights Museum and where the Rosa Parks bus was, and one of the houses of Dr. Martin Luther King. And, you know, the kids love it. We go to Kansas City. Every year, I take a group to the Negro League Baseball Museum, to the Jazz Museum. Some of them, it'll be the only time they ever live Springfield, you know? And it's life experience for them that I was blessed to get, and I want them to get it, and I want as many of them to get it as I can possibly get it to, you know?
One of the things that I've realized in my tenure here is just when you can put egos aside and holistically serve a kid, the outcome is really, really, really beneficial. And people like Smitty represent that. He's provided free program services at his boxing gym for our kids. So if you're a Boys and Girls Club kid and you want to be involved in boxing, he's going to teach you and he's going to give you basic and fundamental skills in boxing, but it's so much more than that. He becomes a mentor for them.
I have actually had teachers from the surrounding community call me and tell me stories of my kids stopping bullying in the hallways or breaking up a fight that was about to be a fight. And because they got involved and the manner they got involved in it, there wasn't a fight or the fight stopped.
We lose over 200 kids a year from suicide, from being bullied. I tell everybody, talk to your kids. You know, get in your kids' life, find out if they're being bullied. If they are, let them be able to come talk to you. You have to talk to your kids about bullying, you know, or they can be getting bullied, they won't know what to do. If they're not talking about it, don't think they're not getting bullied. Talk to them about bullying, because it's a big problem. And we had to figure out some kind of way to talk about it and talk to our kids about it and get it straight.
You know, a lot of times kids are bullied and they never think about fighting anybody. I got bullied growing up, and one day, I mean, I had to learn how to box, you know, and I was still afraid of this particular guy, And one day I had to go to the store for my mother, and I said, you know what, I know how to fight. So I said, I'm going straight across. I'm not going to be afraid of this guy anymore. Boxing, it helps build character, because you learn not to bully, not to be a bully yourself.
Well, boxing is a sport that instills self-discipline. It's a competitive sport, and it teaches our kids that they have to be disciplined and that they never, ever, ever start a fight with anybody. And the WBC, the World Boxing Council, recently started a program called KO Bullying, and I am involved with that. And anti-bullying is a program that's kind of dear to my heart, so I have that in my boxing curriculum, along with checking grades, tutoring, and these are things that we teach our kids within our program. It's a program I think we need, because kids need to know ways to walk away from certain situations.
Coming up, cut. There you go. There you go. Right back, right back.
A good coach can look at a kid, and some people are just not going to do it by the book. They're not going to do it by the basics. They're going to have a certain awkward style about them or awkward way about them. And a good coach can look at that fighter and say, this is what I can work with, this is what I can do, and can develop a style of training with that fighter and still turn that fighter into a champion.
Right back, right back. Jab only, jab only, jab only.
Randy Mask, a kid that come in here boasting that, you know, nobody in his family graduated high school or did this or did that, and was dropping out. I made him go back and get his GED. I made him start training, and now he's getting ready to fight on the undercard of Darrell Smith and Mikey Garcia, the biggest fight of the year for 2019. I teach him to be that kid that the other kids want to be like Randy. He's got the guts to stand up and say, I don't want to sell drugs, I don't want to be a dope dealer, I don't want to drop out of school. Luis Velasquez, Arturo Moreno, both have won national titles.
There you go. Roll it with the shoulder more, though. Make something happen. Time. Both of y'all knock out 10. Let's go. Did I not say 10 seconds? Yes, sir. Nobody fought like I said 10 seconds. What are you supposed to do? Oh, you're supposed to fight like your life depending on it that last 10 seconds. Steal that round. Leave something in the judge's minds to give you that round.
10 push-ups. Come on, we're a family.
Come on, knock them out again.
Both have won ringside world titles in a tournament that normally 1,800 kids in 8 countries compete in for 5 days. Alicia White Lightning Acero had a so-so amateur boxing record. Then she got with me and she went like 22-0 and got a good job and got a house and got all her stuff together, and she won national titles and she won ringside world twice, and now she's fighting pro.
All right, come back with a 2-3-2, Alicia. Be there, though. Get that extra step in.
If you've got it in you anywhere, I'm going to find it and I'm going to pull it out of you.
Double that jab up.
I've been blessed to be able to reach down deep and find it in them and get it out of them.
There you go. There you go, White Lightning. There you go. There you go. There you go. There's the White Lightning I trained. That's the White Lightning I trained right there. There you go.
I don't know how many times I've fallen off them steps or fallen up there in that ring. I wake up some days I can't even walk. and I'm hurting bad. But I still have that fire to come over here and try to save kids and try to turn kids around. And some days I just don't have that energy. But I always tell these kids, you know, as much as I'm giving you, you're giving me, because you gave me something to look forward to in life. So it's something that has become a part of me, and my investment into this place was my way of giving back the way it gave to me.